So what do you think overall of Ralph's presentation?
In 20 years of this side of the coin of nursing home management, I'm a CFO, this speaker's context was the best I've heard in over 20 years. Everything was exactly spot on. And whether it's nursing homes or any management, are the rules to run your organization and run yourself by. Period, stop. Is that great?
What are some things you're going to take away specifically?
You just start with his rules. And if you can get those implemented, you're so far ahead. You can take any part, any episode, other than the stuffed animals, you're 100% good. Truly is that great.
What do you think of the stuffed animal and kind of comparing the different animals to employees?
This is a good visual aid. He doesn't need visual aids. His topics, his points, yeah, spot. Cool. Is that good? 20 years, best I've heard.
Cool. Don't
Thank you.
away with my mic.
I will.
Everybody does. Perfect.
I thought he was amazing. He was a wonderful speaker, so I would listen to him all day long.
Size facility. You must be the same,
Great.
right?
Cool. So what do you think overall of today, of Ralph's presentation?
Ralph Peterson is a dynamic speaker, and he is phenomenal.
What was one thing you're going to take away from it?
The 7 words that management shouldn't say.
So he's going through that first step, or like he was ending that first half of his presentation. He's talking about how you can keep managers. Like what are some things?
Right.
Is that something you're going to take back to your team?
Yeah, I've had a lot of experience with managers, and he's on the money with that. I mean, he is good. I'm sorry. I'm like,
That's all right.
I'm blanking. He has some good suggestions on how to handle people problems.
What are some traits of Ralph? I mean, have you seen Ralph before?
I've known him for 6 or 7 years, and he is he's just a dynamic speaker, and he's a good friend, and he's very smart.
He travels a lot. As
He
you
does.
know. Do you think this group here in West Virginia took away from good information?
I hope so. Yeah, I do. I hope that the group, they seemed engaged, and they seemed like they were paying attention. So
Awesome.
let's hope.
I'm drawing a blank, which isn't good. How many times have you seen him before?
Presenting 4.
Has he, gotten better with each one you've seen?
He is who he is, as you can. If you saw him, that's who he. I mean, that's Ralph.
Cool. Anything else that you want to talk about or add?
He's ugly.
I'll give him that soundbite.
Where is he? Oh.
Ask us to do this. You know you're in trouble. Like, we're going to have to put something in there.
He's going to be, he wants to do a testimonial too, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Is there anything specifically you want to talk about?
Except about you
All right,
being
so
ugly.
tell me what your initial thoughts afterwards.
Well, Ralph's an engaging speaker. Yeah, he knows how to work the crowd and keep everything fun and happy and light, and while getting the message through.
So what are some things you're going to be taking away?
I really liked his 6 rules of being a manager, really enforcing those and making sure you hold your managers to a different level.
I enjoyed the concept of how managers don't pick up trash, or what was it? What was it?
Managers need to make sure the trash is picked up, but don't do it themselves.
Why is that important?
I think it's important because he is pushing the fact that stop micromanaging and doing it yourself, and get your employees to do it for themselves.
What did you think about him comparing employees and managers to those different animals?
It's a creative way to do it. You know, we as managers in our field, we tend to say things like we eat our young. So comparing them to the wildlife community, it helps put it at a different level so you can see it from a different perspective.
That's good. What's going to be the number one thing that you go back and teach your team about this presentation?
The 7 words not to say as a manager. That's probably going to be the first thing that I do on the list.
Overall, his demeanor and what are some positive traits about Ralph when he was up there? I mean, it's probably nerve-wracking to be in front of all these people and say, hey, do this, do that.
Right. He is. He's one of us in the sense that he has worked in the field, and that comes across to everyone here. It's not like he's not done it and he's just wrote the book. He's actually been there managing, and I think that's probably the big thing when you watch him. But his demeanor of just being funny and getting it across. It was a 3-hour workshop, but it didn't feel like 3 hours.
That was exactly what I wanted you to say. Cool. Oh, so on the back of that one paper, he said that if you're going to take anything away, this is the most valuable. Is behind that evaluation sheet. How are you going to implement that?
I'm definitely going to look further into it. So when we do hire managers, that they'll be ready to go. It was a nice flow to make sure that they know each detail of their job. And it could go from nursing to housekeeping to dietary and anything else that they need.
I'll ask you one more question. The concept of like how Bruce Springsteen learned to drive a car literally on the highway. That when you hire a new manager or they transition from a super worker to a supervisor, to really go back to the basics. I feel like I'm part of a project of failure for being a manager when I was younger. Just said that. Wow, I'm getting older. But just understanding to take the basics for new supervisors. Why is that important?
Oh, I think it's very important because you don't want to just grab somebody and throw them into something they don't know. You need to make sure that they're ready to go, and that worksheet should help you get to that point. As somebody that doesn't know how to drive a standard, putting it in that perspective, I don't want to be on the highway trying to do that and everything rushing by you and trying to keep everything going and you're miserably failing. It's not good for the company, it's not good for you, and it's not good for the boss.
Cool. Anything else you want to talk about?
He's a nut, so. I've known him for a while, so.
Cool, that's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen him, this is my 3rd presentation with him. I've seen him at national events here in the state and national, and he always does a great job.
It was just a really good, strategic thought process about how you, especially when you're new into a facility, not new to leadership, how you change things up.